Jess Pryles from Hardcore Carnivore, and this series is all about mastering the meat. So we're going to take a look at different cuts that you can get at your local HEB store and the best way to cook them. Let's take a look at what we're cooking. And this cut is a big one. This big guy is called Thors Hammer. This is actually beef shank or shin. This group of muscles is actually pretty tough, so it needs a lot of long, slow cooking. So like a lot of cuts that start off tough, it's actually got a ton of flavor. And so to unlock it today, I'm gonna start by putting it in the smoker, and then I'm gonna braise it in some liquid until it's nice and tender. Now I'm planning on turning this meat into tacos today, so for binder, I'm choosing a Mexican hot sauce. Binders are used to make sure that the seasoning can really stick to the meat. I also like to do this seasoning step right on the paper that the meat is wrapped in because you can get it messy and then you can just throw it out. I'm seasoning this really well. I've chosen a taco seasoning today since I'm making tacos, but you could use a fajita rub, you could use your favorite barbecue rub. Whatever you use, just make sure you're applying it really generously. I like to kind of wipe it across the paper to pick up any extra seasoning, and that way nothing goes to waste. So that's all the prep you need. This is ready to go on the smoker. So I've got a pellet grill that I've preheated to 300 degrees. This is gonna go in and I'm gonna leave it alone for at least 3 hours to let it get lots of smoke. So my Thors Hammer goes in and I'm gonna leave it just like this, but I am also gonna spritz it every 30 minutes with a combination of Worcestershire sauce and water. So it's been about 3 hours and you can see we've gotten great smoke penetration. We've started to get some color, but this thing is still super tough. So it's time for phase 2. This thing looks awesome. It smells great too, but it's got a lot of cooking left to go. So I'm putting it into a foil pan because I'm gonna add liquid and start the braise. I've got some garlic, a lot of garlic, and I'm gonna add 4 cups of beef broth. You can actually add a lot of different flavors at this braising stage. You could use any liquid you like. You can use water, it's not gonna be as flavorful. You could use coffee, you could use beer, or a combination, or even fruit juices. I'm gonna cover this whole thing in foil and that will create steam, which is really gonna help cook this thing all the way. And even though it'll be covered, I've already got just about as much smoke as I can get on there. So at this point, we're really just using the smoker as an oven. So if you wanted to finish it in your oven, you could do that too. I've got everything locked down for a nice tight seal so that steam gets trapped in there, and now it's gonna go back on the smoker. I'm gonna put this back in for at least 5 hours and then I'll start checking to see if it's done. And to do that, I just take a probe and push it in different areas to make sure that it's nice and tender. Now finally it's tender. And to prove that, ridiculous. That meat is just so full of flavor. I'm actually grabbing the pan with the braising liquid because as I pull the meat, I like to put it back in those juices. It just keeps everything super moist and extra flavorful while I make the tacos. Now within that Thors Hammer, there are gonna be some pieces like this that are tendon and you just wanna discard those. You'll be able to feel with your hands the stuff that you wanna eat and the stuff you wanna leave out. This meat is incredibly juicy and tender and smoky and full of flavor. And this bare bone is proof that you've mastered the method on the Thors Hammer. And just remember, if you're looking for this cut at your local HEB, you can always ask your certified meat cutter to help you find it.